Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. So I'm off again on another adventure, this one for the next 2 weeks almost. It's Monday the 30th of August and I am driving down to Cape Town. Gonna meet Prashin in Cape Town, get some stuff done in Cape Town, in and around Cape Town, and then we off to Johannesburg and we visiting the second largest quiver tree forest in the world apparently, and we're going to do some star trails and just landscapes of the forest itself. And then after that I head off to the Kalahari and Prashin goes back to Cape Town and I return to Joburg via the Kalahari, spending 5 nights in the Kalahari, and then I'm back in Joburg on the 12th of September. So yes, a long adventure, but also I think what's going to be quite exciting with some varied photographic opportunities. I'm going to be hiking, we're going to be doing some late night star trails. The Kalahari promises big cat sightings and raptor sightings and lots of bird sightings. The drive down to Cape Town from Johannesburg has become something of a routine for me. My sister lived down in Cape Town for 3 years, so I was able to drive up and down the N1 quite a few times, and it's a route that I almost know quite well by now. So getting out of Joburg, the first sort of milestone I aim for is getting into Bloemfontein, where I stop at the one Caltex Sunny Hill, I think it's called, and then that gives a chance to refuel and have a quick bite, because Bloemfontein is about 4 hours out of Johannesburg on the N1, so that's the first 400 kilometers or so done. And then from there it depends where I'm stopping thereafter. So if you're doing the trip from Johannesburg to Cape Town, it will be about 1,400 kilometers if you went directly. I normally try to break it up and put a stop somewhere halfway between Johannesburg and Cape Town, just so that it makes the drive more bearable. Okay guys, so we're just getting across the Orange River now, and if you know your colonial history of South Africa, you'll know that this marked the border between the Free State and the old Cape Colony. So yeah, this used to be the border between the Cape Colony and the Free State, and the old South African republics of the Free State and the Transvaal. And eventually Boer Wars happened, and after the Second World War, the Free State was taken over by the British, and there were a number of battles that were fought along the Orange River, but the British then marched on to Pretoria, and after a few guerrilla battles, the Afrikaners eventually conceded, and then the South African Republic was formed. For this trip, I decided to stop in the Camdeboo National Park, which is in Graaff Reinet. So that does mean, getting off the N1 for a little bit and driving towards Graaff Reinet. But it also gives a nice campsite and things like that to rest in overnight, and makes the second part of the journey a bit more bearable as well, because by the time you get to Graaff Reinet, you would have covered about 800 kilometers, and then getting from there to Cape Town is just under 700 kilometers. So the drive on the second day is so much more bearable. Okay guys, I'm here in the Camdeboo National Park, which is just before Graaff Reinet. So you get to the park before you get to Graaff Reinet. So I'll do some video of the town itself in the morning as I drive through. There's not much happening at the water hole I'm sitting at, so I'm just gonna go through to the camp, set up my tent, and then settle in for the night, and then hopefully make an early start tomorrow, come through to this hide again. I'm hearing some nice bird calls, a hopu in the forest just next to here, and some other birds calling, but I can't see much because the sun is setting behind the water. I think it's going to be much better in the morning. Alright, cool. I will go set up camp and then call it a day. Morning guys, it's the morning of day 2. Just wanted to show you the camp, and we have been camping. So here's the car, obviously. The campsite is quite a big area for the campsite, so it will allow a big caravan to park in here. So it's quite a spacious campsite itself. And then my tent, and you can see I was sleeping on my stretcher bed with my extra blanket and my sleeping bag. It was cold last night. The PowerPoint is back there where I had my table. I was charging stuff on it yesterday. And then I'll give you a quick walkthrough to the communal ablutions. So I'm on campsite 2. So here's the common ablution facilities with the bathrooms on this side, a wash basin here, and then I think a kitchen on this side. No, it's more bathrooms. Oh, there is a kitchen here. Microwave, deep freezer, and a kettle for water, which I'm going to use now, and make some water for some coffee. Okay guys, so we're off game viewing now, so I just wanted to show you the hide. Spend a few minutes at the hide, and then we make a drive through the game viewing area and get out to the entrance of the Valley of Desolation. Hopefully the guys at the gate let me out on that side, otherwise it's a long drive back. There's some springbok at the waterhole. Not many people know the Camdeboo National Park because it's not famed for its wildlife. The birding is quite good, and you do get to see some wildebeest and springbok and some of the more arid region antelope. It's one of four frontier parks, I think it's called. The others being Addo, the Karoo National Park, and I think it's Mountain Zebra National Park. All sandparks parks, so you can use your wild card when you're visiting them. I think one of the attractions for the Camdeboo National Park itself is that you can access the Valley of Desolation, which is just outside the main wildlife viewing area. You have to exit the viewing area and then drive on the road that takes you to Graaff Reinet for a little bit, and then you enter the entrance to the Valley of Desolation, and then you climbing up for I think about 5 km or so, and you get to the viewpoint that looks out on the Valley of Desolation. Then once you're in the parking lot, it's a short hike to get to the viewpoint. I think it's about 600 odd meters, so it's not too bad, and it's not very strenuous. And then you're looking out onto what would be, I think, the Eastern Cape, or the rest of the Eastern Cape, because Graaff Reinet is already in the Eastern Cape. And it's quite a nice view, quite a nice stop on the way to Cape Town as well. Once you're done, taking in the view and taking the pictures, I came back out and got into Graaff Reinet because I needed to refuel. And then from Graaff Reinet, you get back onto the N1. The road actually joins back on the N1 at Beaufort West. A lot of people use Beaufort West as the stopping point for their trip from Johannesburg to Cape Town. We used to do that. We've used it a couple times, and then we had a little incident that then makes us avoid using the town as the stopping point or the halfway point. Then the next town out of Beaufort West that you can probably stop at is Laingsburg, which I like to just take a leg stretch in, and then you on to smaller towns like Toesrivier, and then you get into the Hex River Valley, and it becomes quite a narrow road with lots of trucks on, because there's a lot of farming and a lot of I think wine production that happens in the Hex River Valley. So it can be frustrating, but it's also quite scenic. So sometimes you just have to sit back and take in the scenery as you go along. Cape Town had just had some snow in the mountains the weekend before my trip, so I began to see the first remnants of snow, and it looked quite good, although perhaps the GoPro didn't quite capture it as we went along. Maybe some of the snow on the mountain will be more visible now. Don't know if I'll be able to zoom in on it. Outside temperature is 15 degrees, so it's not too bad here. I guess on the other side of the mountain it could be worse. We're just going to go through the tunnel now, and we'll be in Paarl. And then it's about less than an hour in to Cape Town itself. And there it is, the mountain. So, staying at the Protea Hotel Sea Point, which is a Marriott hotel now. Unpacked the car already. Nice comfortable bed, TV, and then a balcony. Let me open it up. And here's the Atlantic Ocean. Finally, we're here.